Hi there. Today we are going to learn how to crochet into both sides of a chain. So here I have a chain. I've chained 11 because I want there to be 10 stitches on each side of my chain. So what you do is you chain however many number your pattern calls for, and then you're going to skip this first stitch. Previously I taught how to crochet into the back bumps. Today we're going to crochet into this side of the chain, and then we're going to wrap around and crochet into that side. So you skip that first chain right there, and you are just going to do single crochets today. You can also do double crochets or triples or shells or whatever your pattern calls for, but this is just the most basic way to crochet into a chain. So you insert your hook, and then you pull up a loop, and then you pull through to finish your single crochet. And so then you do that again into the other side of your chain. Crocheting into this one side of the chain is pretty typical. Most patterns will say chain, 20 or 30 or however many chains, and then turn and then crochet back into the chain. And this is what they're talking about. They're talking about just crocheting into this one side of the chain. However, if you're going to crochet things like shoes, like baby shoes, or some blankets, or some other type of pattern that calls for going around, some bowls will have you do this, you're gonna wanna crochet into this one side. But then, this is my last chain right here. This is my knot and my last chain, so I'm gonna crochet into the last chain here. Sometimes you need to go around. Now, if you're gonna crochet like a shoe, the pattern will tell you to do multiple crochets into this last stitch. I'm just gonna show you how to go to the other side. So once you've done that, sometimes at the end, your pattern will call for something at the end down here, like with the shoes or something else. But then you have, on the other side over here, you have all of these stitches, these lines that are the other side of the chain. And so all you do is you just go back down the row. So you're going to stick your crochet hook into that stitch, and I like to pull my yarn over the top. You can pull it under the bottom if you want to, and then you just do your stitch there. It's going to be tight on the end because we didn't do any extra chains. And so then as you're going back, you want to look for the bumps that are sticking out. That's the other side of the chain. So I don't know if you can see that really well or not, but each of those bumps right there is what we're going to do. And so you just do the same thing that you did on the first side. You just crochet, single crochet, or double or triple, or whatever your pattern calls for, into the other side of that crochet. As you are going, you want to make sure that when you do your chain, you do loose chains if you know that you're going to crochet into both sides of it, so that it makes it easier to work your stitches into it. And as usual, you want to make your chains as even as you can, and then you just work your stitches all the way across. And what this does is it gives you stitches to work in on both sides. It makes kind of a rectangle or sometimes a round pattern if you need that. When you get back to the end, you're either going to just begin again, work extra into here if that's what your pattern calls for. So like if you're doing a baby shoe, you probably would have worked 3 or 4 into this stitch and then 3 or 4 into that one there. For this tutorial, we're just gonna slip stitch into the top of that first crochet that we made, and then you're done. And so then you have this really pretty center that kind of zigzags back and forth, and you have stitches all the way around that you can crochet into. So it's not super hard. Just make sure that when you're chaining, your chains are even and fairly loose so that you can get your stitches in all the way around. So that's all. That's how you crochet into the chain on both sides.